Okay, so now let us proceed to these national interest cases. Now, there are industries in our country that are so important that if the employees therein conducts a strike or the employer conducts a lockout, then the effect would be disastrous, right? So for example, in a hospital, if the employees conduct a strike, then it would be the effects of the strike would be catastrophic, right? Because paano na yung mga patients doon sa hospital na kailangan ng medical attention? Sa electric power industry, water supply, air traffic control, and such other industries as may be recommended by the National Tripartite Industrial Peace Council. So these are examples of industries indispensable to the national interest. And if there is there is a labor dispute therein that would potentially cause a strike or lockout, then it is called a national interest case. Okay, so what should the DOLE secretary do? Now, it's either he would assume jurisdiction over the labor dispute and decide it himself. Okay, so siya talaga ang mag-arbitrate ng labor dispute, or the DOLE secretary may certify the labor dispute to the National Labor Relations Commission for compulsory arbitration. So i-forward niya ang labor dispute to the NLRC. Okay? So it's dalawa lang yan. Assume jurisdiction or certify to the NLRC. So when can the DOLE secretary assume jurisdiction or certify the labor dispute? Okay, the DOLE secretary may assume jurisdiction over or certify a labor dispute when, in his opinion, it causes or likely to cause a strike or lockout in an industry indispensable to the national interest. So, kung dito, ang labor dispute mag-originate from this, for example, hospital, electric power industry, then pwede na mag-interfere ang DOLE secretary. I-assume niya ang jurisdiction sa labor dispute or certify it to the NLRC. Okay, so what are the effects of the assumption or certification by the DOLE secretary? Now, it's the situation. There could be two situations in this labor disputes in industries indispensable to the national interest. It could be na wala pang strike or lockout na naganap. Okay, so in that case, the assumption or certification shall have the effect of automatically enjoining the intended or impending strike or lockout as specified in the assumption or certification order. So, stop niya. Okay? Hindi na mapupursue yung strike or lockout. Okay, so in short, that is a status quo antebellum order. An order to maintain the status quo. Okay, so kung wala pang naganap na strike or lockout, maintain lang yung status quo niyan. Okay, so hindi pwede na i-pursue pa ang strike or lockout. Suspended agad. Or it could be a situation where the strike or lockout has already been implemented or has taken place already. Okay, in that case, all the assumption or certification will have the effect of all striking or lockout employees shall immediately return to work, and the employer shall immediately resume operations and readmit all workers under the same terms and conditions prevailing before the strike or lockout. Okay, so mag-return to work na yung mga employees na nag-strike o yung employees na na-lockout ng employer. Okay, so it's either a status quo antebellum order or a return to work order. Okay, the Secretary of Labor, the DOLE Secretary, or the NLRC may seek the assistance of law enforcement agencies to ensure compliance with this provision, as well as with such orders as he may issue to enforce the same. Okay, but hindi lang ang Secretary of Labor ang pwede mag-assume ng jurisdiction over the labor dispute or mag-certify to the NLRC. It could be that the President may, okay, assume the jurisdiction or certify it to the NLRC because the DOLE Secretary is merely an alter ego of the President. So, yung President talaga ay may final say. The President can have final say as to what are national interest cases. Okay, so let's proceed to prohibited activities. Okay, so first is, okay, ano ba ang mga bawal na gawin in relation to strikes and lockouts? So first is no labor organization or employer shall declare a strike or lockout without first having bargained collectively in accordance with Title 7 or without first having filed the notice required in the preceding article, or without the necessary strike or lockout vote first having been obtained and reported to the Labor Secretary, the DOLE Secretary. Okay? So, hindi pwede na mag-strike na wala pang bargain, hindi pa naka-bargain collectively, or hindi pa naka-file ng notice of strike, or hindi pa naka-take ng strike or lockout vote. Okay, next is no strike or lockout shall be declared after assumption of jurisdiction by the President or the Secretary of Labor, or after certification or submission of the dispute to compulsory or voluntary arbitration, or during the pendency of cases involving the same grounds for the strike or lockout. So, bawal na mag-conduct ng strike or lockout. Kasi nga, di ba, may effect na of ito. Kung assume na, di ba, may status quo antebellum order na, or kung may strike na, conduct ng strike, may return to work order na. So, kung may order na, hindi na pwede na hindi sundin yung order. Okay, it would become a violation if mag-strike pa or mag-lockout. Okay, so any worker whose employment has been terminated as a consequence of any unlawful lockout shall be entitled to reinstatement with full back wages. Any union officer who knowingly participates in an illegal strike may be declared to have lost his employment. Okay, so kung alam ng union officer na illegal yung strike na kanilang kinakandak kasi kasi may for example, nag-assume na ng jurisdiction ng Dole Secretary or wala pang notice of strike, hindi finalo yung procedure na discuss natin kanina, walang strike vote, hindi pa natapos yung cooling off period or strike ban period, okay, and then ginawa na nila ang strike, then yung mga officers ng union na nag-strike may be dismissed from their employment. Okay? How about the worker who participates in the illegal strike? Okay? What is the consequence? Okay, so any worker or union officer who knowingly participates in the commission of illegal acts during a strike may be declared to have lost his employment status. So with respect to the worker, yung hindi union officer, he can only be dismissed from his or her employment if he committed illegal acts during an strike or lockout. Nag-commit siya. Okay? So, the same with the union officers, of course. If pwede matanggal yung ordinary member ng union because he participated in the commission of the illegal acts during a strike or lockout, much more yung union officer na nag-commit ng illegal acts during a strike or lockout. Pwede siya matanggal sa kanyang employment. But take note, the difference here is that an ordinary striking worker cannot be terminated for mere participation in an illegal strike. Okay, so kung ang union officer mag-participate siya knowingly to an illegal strike, pwede siya matanggal sa trabaho. But an ordinary striking worker na mag-participate sa illegal strike, hindi siya pwede ma-terminate sa kanyang employment. Okay? So take note of that distinction. Mere participation of a worker in a lawful strike shall not constitute sufficient ground for termination of his employment, even if a replacement has been hired by the employer during such lawful strike. Okay. So another prohibition is that no person shall obstruct, impede, interfere with, by force, violence, coercion, or threats, or intimidation, any peaceful picketing by employees during any labor controversy or in the exercise of the right to self-organization or collective bargaining, or shall aid or abet such obstruction or interference. That would constitute an unfair labor practice. And no employer shall use or employ any strike breaker, nor shall any person be employed as a strike breaker. Okay, no public official or employee, including officers and personnel of the Armed Forces of the Philippines or the National PNP or armed person shall bring in, introduce, or escort in any manner any individual who seeks to replace strikers in entering or leaving the premises of the strike area, or work in place of strikers. The police force shall keep out of the picket lines unless actual violence or other criminal acts occur, provided that nothing herein shall be interpreted to prevent any public officer from taking any measure necessary to maintain peace in order to protect life and property and or enforce the law and legal order. Another prohibition is that no person engaged in picketing shall commit any act of violence or coercion or intimidation or obstruct the free ingress to or egress from the employer's premises for lawful purposes or obstruct public thoroughfares. So, yung nagpipikit, dapat hindi sila makasagabal. Hindi sila pwede magkasagabal sa daanan ng patungo sa workplace ng employer or palabas ng workplace. Hindi nila pwede i-block yun. So even if the purpose of the strike is valid, it may still be held invalid where the means employed are illegal. So magiging illegal yung strike. Okay, so kahit na na-perform yung mga requisites or procedure for the strike, such as yung notice of strike, cooling off period, 7-day strike ban, strike vote, na fulfill yun ng mga requirements, but during the strike, the actual strike, means or illegal acts or illegal means were employed during the strike, then that strike can be considered as an illegal strike. Okay, so for assistance to labor organization, not so much on this. You may just read it na lang by yourselves. And now, let's proceed to chapter 3, foreign activities. So this is regarding the employment of aliens here in the Philippines and foreign assistance. Okay, so as a general rule under Article 284, all aliens, natural or juridical, as well as foreign organizations, are strictly prohibited from engaging directly or indirectly in all forms of trade union activities without prejudice to normal contacts between Philippine labor unions and recognized international labor centers. So, the right of alien employees here in the Philippines is not the same as the right of a Filipino employee. Okay, so because ordinarily Filipino employees can join, assist, or form the labor organization and conduct union activities, but as a general rule for aliens, they cannot do so. But there is an exception, okay? An exception whereby the alien can exercise his right to self-organization and join or assist labor organization of their own choosing for purposes of collective bargaining. So, pwede pa rin, provided, okay, but again this is the exception. Pwede, provided that the alien working in the country must have a valid permit issued by the DOLE. Okay, may permit siya, working permit. And then, the said alien must be a national of a country which grants the same or similar rights to Filipino workers. So there is reciprocity. Okay, so there is a reciprocity rule in order for the alien to conduct union activities. So it must be that the country where the alien is from must also grant the same rights granted to him to the Filipino workers in his or her country. dapat pareha ng rights na ginagrant yung Philippines at yung country kung saan galing ang alien. Okay, so kung ang sa atin, sa Philippines, nag-grant tayo ng right to conduct union activities sa foreigner, then dapat yung country kung saan galing yung foreigner, kung saan siya citizen, must also grant the right to conduct union activities to Filipino workers there. Okay, so reciprocity rule. Okay, so that is yun lang yung importante doon sa chapter 3. Now proceed tayo sa penalties for violation. So dito na yung kung ma-violate yung mga sa unfair labor practice, makakommit ng unfair labor practice, ma-violate yung provision sa strike, okay, or any violation under the labor code. Or specifically, Article 278 of the labor code, yung regarding sa strike, then ito yung penalty niya. Any person violating any of the provisions of Article 278 of this code shall be punished by a fine of not less than 1,000 pesos, nor more than 10,000 pesos, and or imprisonment for not less than 3 months, nor more than 3 years, or both such fine and imprisonment at the discretion of the court. So this is the penal clause in violating Article 278. So minimum ng 1,000 pesos and maximum of 10,000 pesos na fine pwede i-impose, or imprisonment na minimum is 3 months and maximum of 3 years. Kasi and/or ang ginamit, pwede na both fine and imprisonment ang impose. Pwede rin na fine lang or pwede rin na imprisonment lang ang impose sa violation ng Article 278. So it is already at the discretion of the court. Okay, so that is for Title 8 of the Labor Relations Law. So I think we will conclude our discussion in labor relations here. So thank you for listening, and I hope you have learned something.